Okay, hey, what's going on, guys? Your boy Ghost here, and today I have another long article, which is going to be another one on freaking Wednesday, I'm assuming, from what I heard. Yesterday was a whole bunch of content that I uploaded and reacted back to back, and I was editing all day. I'm sorry I didn't get this out, like I said, on Wednesday, but perks to it, they released some more content. So we got another exotic trailer. Let's watch it before we get into this article. Microcosm, an exotic heavy trace rifle. Hold on. I thought this was a Tangle Sword real quick. Deals massive bonus damage to shields. Okay, this thing look like it hit hard. Okay. I mean, this is cool and all, but like, we need to see how big of a damage bonus this is, because only so much a trailer can show us. Wait a minute. Is this thing strand? Because it just created a tangle. I feel like the beam would be green here. I don't see any like unraveling rounds on him. I don't know. Maybe it's a fluke. It did it twice. It did it twice. Look, it kills one here, makes one, and then as he kills another one, it makes another one. I mean, you see the bonus damage here. Obviously, this would have been a lot better when it was when match game was still in the game. But now that match game is no longer in the game, I don't know how I feel about this, especially since you can pop shield so easily with energy weapons. But overall, looks kind of cool. Kind of got to get my hands on it to give more of information. All right, I'm letting y'all know this now. This is long. I have not read this article in prematurely, so I will be reading it as much as I can and getting rid of the stuff that I don't think is important in editing. If you guys like to see the rest of the article, feel free to go read it yourself. But like I said, this article is long, so get your snacks, your drinks, Kool-Aid, fried chicken, popcorn, if you know that's from your real one. Okay, let's get into this. Hey Guardians, it's the weapons team here with the weapon balance update for the final shape. There's a lot to go through for my comprehensive PvE with damage pass to exotic changes, varying from substantial reworks to minor tweaks. We are also tamping down some outliers with an eye toward the world's first raid for the upcoming raid, and maybe for a hint in here for the returning fan favorite exotic weapon too. All right, weapon archetypes. Back in 6.3.0, we rolled out a set of spec mods, Dragonfly, Surrounding, and Rampage, and the base functionality of those perks, and now we're coming from the rest of the spec mods. We've increased base weapon damage almost universally, making exceptions for weapons that were already overperforming and that were buffed recently, and have retired the following weapon mods: Boss, Taken, Minor, Major, and Adept Big One spec. We were already happy with the damage output of exotic primary weapons and trace rifles, so we slightly reduced their damage bonus versus red bars. In most cases, that means damage output is roughly unchanged since they received buffs below. Reduced damage bonus versus minors from 40% to 30%, except Fighting Lion. Nice. Included below are matching damage changes based on changes by weapon archetype. Note that we made some exceptions for exotic weapons that were already performing strongly and applied buffs to specific tiers of enemies. Except where noted, these changes are PvE only. Also, note that because exotic weapons can equip mods, this gives them a larger relative buff than legendaries, e.g. Risk Runner's maximum possible damage is increased 10% versus red bars. By Shier's Wrath is increased by 3%, in effect because it's no longer a slot for minor spec. Okay. In addition to compensating for the removal of spec mods, we've taken this opportunity to buff some weapons that might have languished in the in-game PvE, but most notably pulse rifles. Ooh, okay. This is just in time for that craftable outbreak change. Increased base PvE damage versus all combatants by 20% on pulse rifles. Exceptions: Graviton Lance, Revision Zero's Heavy Burst mode. Those are both have intrinsic PvE damage buff built in. Now, this is the heavy burst mode, so the 2-shot mode. Does this also work for the the sniper shot on Revision Zero? We're gonna have to figure that out. Slug shotgun, 9% buff. Fusion rifle, 7% buff, except 1000 Voices. Pain, does this include Vector the class? We don't know. Sniper rifle, 7% buff, except Izanagi's Burden, Hone Edge shots for and Cloud Strike Storm. That sucks. Those are both performing well. That can be confirmed. That is up for argument. Glade projectiles, 7%. Linear fusion rifles, 5%. Increased damage versus miners and red borders. This stacked with the base PvE damage increases. Sidearms, trace rifles, scout rifles, and 20%. And bows, 20%. Auto rifles and pulse rifles by 15%. For pulse rifles, this is in addition to the buff above and graviton lance revision. For pulse rifles, this is in addition to the buff above and graviton lance and revision zero's heavy burst mode are included in this buff. I.e. pulse rifles will do 1.2 to 1.15 equals 38% more damage against red bars. Thank you for saying that. Submachine guns and hand cannons, 10% and 5% individually. Increased damage versus majors and orange bars by 200% on trace rifles. Increased damage globally, including PvP, via machine guns and swords. Boys, if y'all wasn't using machine guns and PvP already, use them now. GLs is past, bro. Splash damage from add clear exotic primaries were overperforming in the final shape. We combined them with when combined with the damage buffs listed above. So we pulled it down slightly and on a handful of weapons. Sunshot, Trinity Ghoul, Polaris Lance, and Graviton Lance. The quadruplet of ad clear in this game. Not even the triple of ad clear. No one's really using Polaris Lance for ad clear. It's mostly Sunshot, Trinity Ghoul, and Grav Lance. Several releases back, we gave kinetic weapons a substantial damage bonus in PvE to account for it being harder to use them in subclass builds. In general, we're okay with leaving this in place until we have a better defined role for kinetic weapons, but the bonus damage versus bosses, tier combatants, was making it harder for weapons and other damage types to compete. Understandable. Kinetic damage type weapons no longer do bonus damage to bosses. Damage to other combatant tiers is unchanged. For example, a kinetic sniper and a stasis sniper rifle of the same subfamily, but will both deal the same amount of damage to the boss. This is perfect, so I don't have to craft the Deep Stone Crypt Sniper. I can't remember the top of my head. I can continue to use my firing line Thoughtless. You love to see it. We've also made some quality of life changes to several weapons. Updated heavy, adaptive, aggressive burst weapon intrinsic names to match burst. Wait, what? Updated heavy, adaptive, and aggressive burst weapons intrinsic names to match burst counts across all weapon archetypes. Functionally, it's unchanged. 2 burst, heavy burst. 3 burst, adaptive burst. 4 burst, aggressive burst. Includes pulse rifles. 2 burst, heavy burst includes sidearms, hand cannons, pulse rifles. 3 burst includes sidearms, linears, and adaptive pulse rifles. Got it. Remove the foundry name for the Vice. Wait, what? Remove the foundry name from the Vice Rapid Fire Hockey Precision Amalon Adaptive Weapon Intrinsics. Okay, so you just got rid of the name. Scout rifles. Updated the hipfire reticle to better show accuracy and aim assist state. Hand cannons. Some aggressive hand cannons struggle to compete with the stats of the top tier examples. Cough, cough, igneous hammer, cough. Leave it like that. Don't nerf it. So with Criminal's Dagger and something new returning in final shape, we've updated their stats. I don't like the fact that they mentioned igneous. I'm kind of nervous about that. Criminal's Dagger. Stability to 23 was starting. So 23 to 31. 23 handling to 31 handling. Magazine from 8 to 9. Airborne effectiveness 10 to 21. Something new from Solstice. I mean, I guess so. Stability from 27 to 30. Handling 24 to 30. Magazine from 8 to 9. Criminal's Dagger could probably be good. I kind of had when I had a rangefinder. I think I had a rangefinder kill clip roll. I think I sharded it though recently when I was cleaning my vault. Low inventory sniper rifles were a little too low in PvE for our liking, so we increased the minimum. Increased the minimum reserves from 14 to 17 shots. Maximum reserve is unchanged. Linear fusion rifles, I'm sorry. Adaptive burst linear fusion rifles are strong, but in some cases are quite hard to control. Reduce the firing animation, kick, and recoil for adaptive linear fusion rifles. Got it. Adaptive is triple burst, right? Yep. Okay. Wave frame grenade launchers deal competitive damage as of Destiny 2's Into the Light update, but some stats on these didn't have gameplay effects in the past. Gameplay effects. In the past, we're adjusting the blast radius. The size of the wave is now affected by the blast radius stat. This will mostly impact the width of the wave, though the length of the height will also be scaled. The default stat for the blast radius has been changed from 100 meters to 50 meters to, The default display stat for blast radius has been changed from 100 to 50, where 50 represents the previous baseline, and any stat over 50 will result in a larger wave segment than what was possible before. Oh goodness. Special ammo wave frames. Wave frame grenade launchers overperformed as ad clear weapons in the current state, so we pulled the length down back a little, reduced the length of the waves from 22 meters to 15 meters except on Dead Messenger. Gives a reason to use Dead Messenger. In my opinion, I said this earlier at my server when we was going over the patch notes. I think Dead Messenger and every other weapon in the game that has the whole Taste the Rainbow exotic perk, let us legitimately taste the rainbow. We've got two new rainbows to taste. Give us all of them. I want to be able to use Arc, Solar, Void, Stasis, and Strand on all of them. Even though there's no stasis shields in the goddamn game. Still be fun though. Swords. Updated the sword reticle to better indicate its change in state. When the sword energy is consumed, the amount of delay the sword has before it begins recharge now suddenly appears on the reticle. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the overwhelming battle song debuff from the summations would prevent swords from recharging or losing energy while guarding. Fixed an issue where unpowered caster swords heavy attacks will not reset their sword energy's recharge delay. Fixed an issue when uncharged adaptive sword heavy attacks cost the same amount of ammo as their charged counterparts. They now cost 1 ammo, same as other uncharged heavy attacks. Exotics. Okay, we're getting into the meat and potatoes. Exotics. Divinity's ability to bypass combatants' gameplay by generating a weak spot called the cage internally on command has too high uptime as it stands, particularly with trigger feathering. We're not changing how effective the cage is and how feathering works, but we are increasing how long it takes to generate the cage, which makes it less ammo efficient and less useful against targets that break aim frequently. Increase the number of shots required to generate a cage by 75% against combatants. PvP unchanged. So instead of like 12 shots, it's going to take like 17, is what the example that I got. Okay, I mean, freaking, it's a long shooting beam of damage. It's not going to take that much longer. Maybe like an extra second or two to get the cage. Rat King's firing animation makes the weapon hard to control at a high rate of fire, so we've updated it. Swap the firing animation, the same one used on other auto rapid fire sidearms. Devil's Ruin could be made to apply a firing animation to other equipped sidearms. Fixed an issue where the firing animation from Devil's Ruin would get applied to other sidearms if the weapon was swapped during the firing animation. Symmetry needs a little attention, particularly in the reload speed and handling, so we took an opportunity to increase those via the Catalyst. Catalyst now provides plus 10 reload speed, plus 10 handling, edit current perk, in addition to this existing effects. Gallahorn Wolfpack rounds look like our projectiles regardless of the weapon's actual damage type. Updated the visuals of Wolfpack rounds to match the damage type of the weapon. For example, on Gallahorn, they look like they will use solar effects. On roll entry, Void Rocket Launcher, buffed by Gallahorn, they will also have Void effects. Okay, that's just a freaking quality of life change. Touch of Malice, burn in the darkness ball didn't last long enough to be useful in PvE. Increase the duration of the burn applied from darkness ball against combatants from 2 seconds to 3.5 seconds. Osteo's trigger made it too easy to spread poison across the whole encounter from a couple of kills on weak combatants. Now has a 4-second cooldown on poison burst kills. Poison burst from sustained damage doesn't receive this cooldown. Okay. I was talking about this earlier as well in the server I was in. Osteo's trigger is one of those weapons to where people didn't stop using it because it got nerfed. People stopped using it because it was too easy. Especially if you combine it with Mind Spawnification, you eat a grapple grenade and lock. You can literally lock down and CC the whole room, and then kill them with poison. So I understand why I got nerfed. Anyways, laugh at this nerf. Pick up Thorn. Necrochasm's Accelerator roll wasn't as strong as we liked, so we buffed it and replaced Outlaw on the Catalyst with a new custom perk that leans into this role. Intrinsic perk now provides reload speed after precision kills, increased duration of the burn applied by Cursed Thrall explosion against combatants from 2 to 3.5 seconds. Catalyst has been rebuilt. 1 for Thrall, damaging 3 combatants in quick succession, provides a period of increased damage, range, and aim assist. Okay, I saw Lament got hit by a freaking stray. And I need them to walk back on this. While the Lament's damage is roughly equal to other swords, the healing on hit largely removes the intended downside of using a sword from a boss DPS, and the chain heavy attack was too strong. Reduce the healing effect by 20%. While this weapon does inherit the 7% global buff to swords, we've reduced the damage on high-end chained heavy attacks by 20% from that point. This means combo attacks at lower stacks are less affected, but changed than This means that combos at lower stacks are less affected by the change than combos at higher stacks. I'm sorry if I heard that correct. That was my chair. So the situation that I'm in is, why? Because Lament isn't even the best sword in the game. It's freaking Bequest with Surrounded. So why are we nerfing Lament where it's basically a good sword that almost everybody has. Sorry if you heard that, dog. A good sword that almost everyone has. And no one really uses it that much unless you don't have Bequest or Fallen Guillotine. You're going to nerf this and then give us Fallen Guillotine with Frenzy and Surrounded on the same roll? Which is like what? I think Frenzy is 15% plus Surrounded is 37%. So that's a lot of damage. Anyway, moving forward. That Man's Tale rapid fire hip fire fantasy isn't landing as well as we'd like it to be, so we bumped up the rate of fire and added a bit of stability to Cranial Spike to make it easier to control. At the same time, its strength is skewed a little high on mouse and keyboard and a little low on controller, so we've turned the accuracy, magnetism, controller reticle friction to address this. Baseline, Cranial Spikes now grant stability in addition to aim assist and stats. Aim assist stat and range plus 2 per stack. Increase the reload speed benefits of Cranial Spike stacks. With the catalyst, when hip firing, slightly reduce accuracy benefits, increase magnetism fallout scale from 1.6 to 1.7, increase the baseline rate of fire from 130 RPM to 140 RPM, remove the PvE damage, remove the PvE only damage buff that was scaled, remove the PvE only damage buff that scaled with stacks of Cranial Spikes and added 15% damage bonus at maximum stacks of Cranial Spike. Okay, I still don't see anyone using DMT in PvE, even with Vorpal and it being craftable. DMT has been like put to a PvP weapon at this point, which is kind of cool. I guess that's kind of okay. There's weapons that are good in PvP, weapons that's good in PvE. I just don't like how long it takes to freaking reload. So maybe this reload buff will be pretty good because people are using compulsive reloader in this thing because it takes so long to reload. Overall, I just don't think DMT would be good in PvE, but I'll be glad to be proven wrong with this update. All right, the colony of spawning self-replicating insectoid robots is something that we've wanted to use for a while now. This update allows the colony to deal with waves of combatants in unique ways. Now spawns an additional insect robot on final blows. More robots up to 5 spawn together from tougher combatants. Oh, this thing about to go dumb. Freak wave friends, we got the colony. Hullabaloo, you had your time in the sun for less than a couple of weeks. Truth has fallen far behind the exotic rocket launchers, largely due to the lackluster damage, and we wanted to lean further into the total rocket count. Increase the AoE damage such that it doesn't lose a noticeable amount of damage due to not dealing impact damage. Increase the total reserves by 3. This is on top of the reserve change in high impact rocket launchers we shipped with 7.3.5. The Queen Breaker's damage output is outplaced by a legendary linear fusion rifle, so we've increased the damage in reserve ammos to compensate. We don't see frequent requests to move Queen Breakers to the energy slot, but given the number of special we do see frequent changes to we do see frequent requests to move Queen Breakers to the energy slot, but given the number of special ammo damage options in the slot, we have opted to push it further into the heavy slot. We're working on some functionality changes to this weapon for future updates as well. Increase the damage versus bosses and mini bosses and champions and vehicles by 12%. Increase the reserve ammunition by 3%. Oh, 3. I'm sorry. The power of Cerberus +1 focus fire from the exotic catalyst was limited by always being available. We've changed this thing to only be available after following a kill, allowing it to increase in strength. Focus fire will now activate on a special reload following a kill and will no longer reduce the range or rate of fire. Oh, wait. Okay, so if you guys who don't know, focus fire, the hold reload for Cerberus literally turns this thing into a freaking shotgun, which is kind of cool. I'm excited. If I'm remembering what the cast is correctly, because I haven't done Cerberus in ages, we would have to use and question the Cerberus queen herself, Mrs. Turf. In a world where Bastion has competition for a fusion rifle in a kinetic slot, we felt that it was time to lean further into emulating Saint 14's combat style. Rework Saint's Fist perks. Dealing damage with melee increases your charge rate, damage, and reload speed for a short duration, landing a majority of pellets and bursts increases the melee damage. Oh, this is going to be fire. Let me read this again. Rework Saint's Fist perk. Dealing damage with a melee increases your charge rate, damage, and reload speed for a short duration. Landing a majority of pellets and the burst increases melee damage. They really just gave Bastion Trench Barrel. This is amazing. Ariana's Vow is falling behind on the anti-barrier special weapons, and as a solo weapon has the opportunity for a subclass tie-in. Breaking a match shield or piercing a champion's barrier will cause the target to ignite. W. Make it in. That's a great feature. Don't think people are going to use it over Arbalist though. But it'll be fun. Deterministic Chaos didn't have a clear niche when it shipped, so we redesigned it to be an anti-champion weakening powerhouse. This weapon now intrinsically has anti-barrier. The heavy metal and Vexadecimal perks have had their locations and behavior swapped. Heavy metal now calls for the 4th bullet to make each target volatile. Vexadecimal calls the 16th bullet to weaken targets. I still don't think anyone's going to use this. The flexibility offered by the fundamentals of a Borealis, Hardlight, Dead Messenger, exotic weapons is useful, but most of the time there is no need to switch damage types rapidly, so irritating having the current damage type clear on the death. The fundamentals now maintain this state across deaths and respawns. Thank you. Perks. Alacrity is working in solo activities as intended, but it's a bit too strong to have 100% uptime up in PvP. Will no longer work in Rumble. Understandable, but that kind of sucks. Archer's Gambit has been bought down a bit so it can be put on other legendary weapons. Thank Lord. If you guys don't know what Archer's Gambit is a souped up version of Archer's Tempo, which was originally on Hush from the Gambit. It was a Gambit Pinnacle weapon, one of my favorite bows to ever use. Love that thing. Reduce the draw time from 66% to 60%. Reduce the buffer duration from 8 seconds to 4 seconds, but can now stack up to 8 seconds. Grave Robber needed some extra love, will now activate on dealing damage with powered melee in addition to standard melee. I appreciate you for doing this, but please, for the love of God, add the ability for it to activate on finishers as well. Please, I've been begging for this. Let Grave Robber activate on finishers and powered melees. It should do literally every type of melee. Chain reaction is too strong on special ammo weapons in its current form, so we've branched it between heavy and special ammo weapons, and we'll be shipping it with a new special weapon in the final shape. So on special weapons, chain reaction has about 15% smaller AoE size and 20% less damage. Heavy, same AoE, but 30% more damage. I'm wondering if that new special weapon is a shotgun, because they were saying we want to put chain reaction on the shotgun, and if it is, that's going to be something fun to use. Please be on Saint's shotgun. If it's on Saint's rapid fire shotgun, then I can't remember the name right now. Mwah, beautiful. Eddy Current was a little too slow to activate and didn't provide a strong enough bonus, particularly when amplified. Now it takes 1.5 of sprinting to activate instead of 3 seconds. Also provides a bonus to handling and 5% scalar on each stat at base. Being amplified will immediately activate this perk to maximum effectiveness. Okay, cool. Underdog was shelved a long time ago, but we wanted to swap it out for a more viable perk and weapons that still had it. Instances of Underdog has now been replaced with Pulse Monitor. Cool. Osmosis and Permeability has some interesting build crafting potential, but when all they do is to change the damage type, they don't have enough general utility. It's also irritating when the perk effect falls off when you don't actually put the weapon away. These no longer drop off when pulling out your ghost or similar actions. These particularly now partially refill the magazine on activation. I feel like if they really wanted to buff it up a little bit, they should give it for Osmosis. That's the one when you throw your grenade, it changes the damage type. It should give you like a little bit of your grenade back when you throw your grenade, and then kills give you like, let's say, 3% extra energy, and then do the same thing but for permeability. So even if you do put your weapon away, you have the ability to get it back by getting kills with it. That'd be great. But make it so these like the grenade energy and the class ability energy only activate when you have the weapon in a specific state. So if I can get my grenade back by killing enemies with this new damage type, get it back, and then if I swap to a different grenade, sorry, I swap to my special weapon, I'll have my grenade back because I got a whole bunch of kills, or at least be closer to it. So I feel like that'd be a good buff. Plus, freaking people only use Osmosis and Permeability. They only use it for match game. Now that's not in the game anymore, and now we use it for build crafting potential. I feel like it'd be great, but if we could use it more often, that'd be even better. The previous chill clip change hurt slow rate of fire weapons disproportionately and left rapid fire fusions as the clear best option. So we branched the functionality to account for this. Adjust the number of slow stacks applied based on the properties of the weapon. In this case, rapid fire fusions like Riptide still require 3 shots to freeze, but slower firing fusions will only require 2. Boys, bring out those deliverances, bring out those snories. It's about to be goated. All other archetypes have been unnerfed and only require 2 shots to freeze. High ground's functionality wasn't delivering the concept of strongly enough, so we've granted a better baseline functionality while retaining the fantasy. Rework to provide a stacking damage bonus when getting kills in any context like Rampage, or instantly getting maximum amount of stacks when damaging an enemy from the high ground. PvE max bonus increases 25% bonus. PvP is now 15. Okay. Now does it still keep that stupid thing to where it has to be like feet planted on the ground? Could it at least be like heat rises off the ground? So we'll see. The Killing Tally perk on the original 20% Delirium machine gun has been updated to match the version found on the random rolled weapons. Perks that currently match your equipped subclass has been changed as follows. Osmosis and Tessellation now match the damage type of your equipped grenade. Permeability and elemental capacitor now match the damage type of your equipped super. Got it. Tessellation is a grenade launcher, right? It's the new fusion rifle you get from pre-order, if I'm remembering correctly. Don't remember. Deconstruct. Oh, dang, they done nerfed this thing before it even became meta. Too meta. Deconstruct had a variety of issues that cropped up when it started to appear in AoE weapons. It's been updated to address the bug and prevent exploding ammo generation. Now refills ammo from reserves instead of thin air and should trigger more reliably across weapon types. Dang, bros. Well, you can go ahead and shard those deconstruct edge trances with sticky nades. RIP. The future. Now that we are largely happy with the weapon damage in PvP, we're going to move into more PvP specific tuning out of the game modes into base weapon tuning in the future. This will give us the ability to fine tune the damage per weapon subfamily, e.g. on precision hand cannons instead of all hand cannons. We also have some big system changes we're working on in the future for release, including redesigns of PvP and PvE ammo economies, introducing more player choice in the Crucible weapon mods, and new weapon types. Wait, don't go anywhere. As I just finished recording this video that I just showed y'all, they dropped the TWAB. So we've got more to talk about, but I'm literally only going to read the important part. Enhancement in the final shape. During the Lightfall year, players have gotten a taste of enhanced weapon enhancement with a rated depth weapons from Rune Nightmares and Crota's End. In the final shape, you'll see this system has undergone some upgrades, making enhancing your weapons easier and allowing us to comfortably expand this system to include more weapons. Here's a quick recap on how weapon enhancement system will work alongside some changes. Weapon enhancement allows the weapon to be upgraded to receive enhanced traits, a weapon level, and memento socket. To upgrade your weapon, players can navigate to the inspection screen and insert the level enhancement. The enhancement tier mod for standard currencies, rated depth weapons will require Spoil of Conquest. Enhancement tier 1 replaces your masterwork and provides the weapon with an enhanced intrinsic that matches the stat of your old weapon masterwork. Provides the weapon level, a date when you first enhance this weapon, and a memento socket. Rated depths only, since these weapons have at a base crafted version. We wanted the adept versions to feel like a meaningful upgrade. Therefore, these weapons can visit the relic on Mars to adjust their two first columns, typically barrel and magazines, in a similar fashion to how crafted magazines can augment those per columns. Got it. Enhancement tier 2. Weapon level 11 requirement. Once the player inserts this mod, the left column trait will automatically be upgraded to their enhanced trait. If you have multiple perks, this will update all traits in that column. Players will not need to visit the relic on Mars to update these traits anymore. Oh, that's great. So you don't got to spend double the material. It's just the regular material. Enhancement tier 3. Enhancement level, weapon level 17 requirement. Once the player applies this mod, the right column trait perks will automatically be updated to be enhanced. Like the left column, this will upgrade all the traits present there and does not require visiting the relic. We've heard the feedback that weapons should have more avenues to acquire enhanced traits. In the final shape, all new weapons will either be craftable or have access to weapon enhancement. In addition, weapons that remain active drops in the following activities will be eligible for enhancement. Fall of the Disciple rated depths, Guardian Games, King's Fall rated depths, Gambit, Competitive Crucible, all of them. Trials of Osiris, Crucible, Iron Banner, Vanguard Ops, Nightfall, Emperor Prophecy Dungeon. So you're telling me I'm going to be able to have... Wait a minute, because I got to contemplate. Does this mean I can enhance my Iggy? This will include all instances of these weapons as long as they have an origin trait. Unfortunately, due to some technical Unfortunately, due to some technical constraints, there are a handful of weapons instances from before Season 17 that have origin traits and are active drops, but they won't be eligible for weapon enhancement. If the weapon is not actively dropping in these activities and playlists, or is under the legacy focusing option, it will not be enhanceable in the final shape release. If the weapons are reissued and become part of the playlist active drops, once again, we'll update older versions of this to have origin traits and to the weapon enhancement. Okay. So I'm confused, because technically Iggy is leaving the loophole in the final shape, but it was out before this. So it's leaving the loophole, it's going in the legacy focusing and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, can it still be enhanceable? I'm assuming not, which sucks. But you're telling me people are going to be running around with enhanced roses? People already using roses, we're going to have enhanced roses going around? Whew, it's going to be crazy. Mementos in the final shape. We received a lot of feedback on weapon mementos, especially as new mementos have been released in our seasonal events. In the final shape, we have a few changes coming that impact how you store mementos and apply them to your weapons. Crafted and enhanced weapons will no longer need to visit the relic on Mars to apply mementos. Players can apply mementos of their choosing directly in the weapons inspection screen. Mementos can stack up to a limit. Oh, memento stack caps will be raised from 1 to 3. Thank you. I can get rid of my freaking Festival of the Lost mementos that's been sitting in my postmaster since Halloween. Mementos will no longer be stored alongside the player's consumables when the final shape launches. Your mementos under consumables will show as faded. Then once the faded memento is dismantled, you'll see +1 memento added to the weapon inspection screen as a virtual currency. For players who figured out how to get around the original memento stack size limit, this will allow you to dismantle all those mementos safely, even if you temporarily go over the intended limit of 3. If you're holding 3 or more of the particular memento, it will not drop again until you spend your mementos to be under the stack limit of 3. We'll take it. We'll take those. Subclass fragment purchables from our core are expensive, particularly considering how many they are, especially for new lights. In the final shape, we have reduced the cost of fragments from 25,000 glimmer to 10,000 glimmer. Our goal here is to make these vital build crafting elements more accessible for new and returning players. And that's really about it. Everything else is about 0 hour and comics, and that's fast forward. None else really matters. Let's hear about this. Destiny content vault updates. With the start of year 7, Destiny 2 on June 4th. Destiny content vault updates. With the start of year 7 of Destiny 2 on June 4th, certain items will be deprecated from player inventories that correspond with vaulted activities and seasonal campaigns. They will then be moved into the Destiny content vault. We have updated the Destiny content vault article to reflect these changes and create a new article for fully outlining items being deprecated at the start of year 7 for players' reference. Player parental controls don't matter. Capturing his own in collision PvP game mode while having full super energy will slightly reduce super energy. Tormentors can push turrets away from onslaught in their slam and grab objects. The 0 death triumphs only unlocks from completing 0 hour and legend difficulty, which should unlock on normal and legend difficulties. Good. Fast forward. This is amazing art, by the way. Don't care. That's everything we have for this week. Hopefully you've been enjoying fun new PvP maps. I'm cutting all this out. F all this. Doesn't matter. Memento situation is cool. Congratulations to everyone who all the new lights can now get these a lot bit cheaper. They also made the strand meditation stuff a bit cheaper as well. This is even more of a call out. If you guys don't know, stack up that glimmer. If you have legendary shards, go buy those things in the moon so you can turn them in for glimmer, because legendary shards are going away. So do what you will with this information now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you have a good one. And remember, stay spooky.